Before I get into this, guys, I want to answer two questions that you have been asking me quite a lot recently. Number one, am I playing AION now? And number two, what do I think about the whole Bless release drama, fail, etc.? To answer your first question, no, I'm not playing AION now. I would have to be stupid to play AION now for two reasons. Number one, I've quit AION in December 2016 for very good reason, because the game was in such a shitty state that even I couldn't bear it anymore. Right now, at this moment in time, the game is in the same shitty state as it was in December 2016, probably even worse, and I'm not touching the retail version, the European version of AION until 6.0 hits, and even then it's a question mark depending on what Gameforge wants to do with the patch for us in Europe. The second reason why I'm not playing AION is because 6.0 is basically gonna delete everything we've done in the past 9 years. Almost everything, but you get my point. As for Bless, what do I think about it? I don't think anything besides what I've already told you guys 6 months ago. So for those of you who watch my videos actively, you already knew that this is gonna happen long before their release, yeah? So this shouldn't come as a surprise for you. It doesn't come as a surprise for me. I told you I'm not gonna play it way before it got launched. I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for it. I didn't play it. I didn't get a refund, and I just simply don't care. Hey guys, today we're talking about AION patch 6.2. This is the update that we're gonna get in Europe and North America. We get 6.0 and 6.2 combined. So in this video together with you guys, we're gonna see what it brings, we're gonna see what it changes. As I was telling you in my 6.0 patch notes video, update 6.2 basically improves on the 6.0 concept and fixes a couple of things, etc. But we're gonna see. If you want to check the patch notes, as always, you can simply go to aionpowerbook.com, and on the main page you can even find the latest update in Korea, which is at this moment in time 6.2. Having that said, guys, let's move on to the patch notes. The first topic is Cubic. Now, Cubic is a system that's brand new to the game, brand new to AION in general. It is a place where you spend cubicles that you farm in dungeons and you improve some of your stats. Now, I'm not gonna go into very many details about this. We're gonna read the notes because I want to make a separate video and actually show you guys in Korea what exactly is this thing about and what it changes and what it adds. So let's just read through it. By collecting cubicles and using them in the cubic, your character will be given the ability corresponding to the cubicle, to the used cubicle. Select the category to see the list and details of the cubics. Cubics are divided between gold, silver, bronze in terms of these three here, their grade, and the stats of the highest level of each cubic are applied. Click the button to register cubics in your inventory. Shows collected cubicles across the whole account. This is really nice. You know what? I love account bound things in AION. I love this idea that they did with the cubicles, the fact that it's account bound. And I would like to see in the future a lot more things being account bound, yeah? I'm not necessarily talking about gear. I'm fine with gear not being account bound like Guild Wars, but I would like to see a lot more account bound things, yeah? Cool. Cubicles can be obtained from Kublin's Cubic Laboratory and Lacrum Field bosses. Cubicles can be exchanged for higher level ones through Lacrum's special reward supplier. I'm going to show you guys all of these things in the video dedicated to the cubicle system. Item, this is the second category. You can now re-identify items with Kina without a special order. When you register an item in the Boost Modify window, you can see attributes and possible stat ranges given during re-identification. Existing re-identification scrolls cannot be used on ancient legendary ultimate items, which is basically all of the items that are gonna be in AION remaining. So keep in mind that if you have currently re-identification scrolls, you might as well sell them or use them on some whatever armor, yeah. Ancient legendary ultimate re-identification scrolls have been removed from the gold sand shop. Now this particular change might not seem like a big deal, right? They have been removed from the gold sand shop, but where have they been added to? Yeah, this is what you always have to think. Removed from the Kina shop, basically, because the gold sand shop is the shop that you can buy stuff with Kina, right? And they are where now? Probably in the Kuna shop, which costs real money. So this change might seem like nothing, but if you think about it, it might seem like a partial pay to win thing when they added more attractive scrolls of re-identification, more attractive items in the Kuna shop. Selective re-identification function has been added. This is something that you do with Kuna actually. You can reassign secondary stats by selecting one of the stats given to the item. So basically it is a safer way of re-identifying your stuff, and you can actually select the stats that you are given. Yeah, if you're given, I don't know, 37 crit and 42 attack, and then the second option is 50 attack and 30 crit, then you have the option to select if you spend Kuna, which again is something that you get with real money. Of course you get some Kuna from questing in game, etc, but you know how these things go. There's never enough Kuna from quests to satisfy your need, not even half of your need to be competitive in terms of getting gear, re-identifying, you know, making some money, etc. So it is how it is. And of course the amount of Kuna spent on this process depends on the item's grade, yeah? For items obtained before the update, selective re-identification can only be performed after re-identifying the item with Kina. Now this sentence might be a little bit confusing, but what it means is it doesn't refer to the items that you get now in patch 5.x, because these items are going to be obsolete, they're going to be replaced, right? It's referring to items that Koreans got in 6.0, because they did get 6.0 and then 6.2. So for us in Europe and North America, this sentence means absolutely nothing. A shard has been added that can improve the power of attacks and healing. This is actually a very, very important thing. Again, it might seem like, oh yeah, they just replaced the power shards, but that's absolutely not true. This is a very significant change for healers, for classes that can heal, clerics, bards, chanters, because these new power shards, yeah, let's call them like that, they don't just add 15, 12, 42 points to your attack value when you auto attack. These actually change the amounts that your skills heal or do damage with, etc. So this is a very important change, a change that obviously will make a significant difference in how you spec your class, or in what skills you prioritize, etc. The shard can be activated with the B button, whatever characters already in the B button, doesn't matter. The shard activation hotkey is located, oh my god, when you activate the shard, the effect will be visible on your weapon, so that you know, and I guess other people know as well, that you have this active. Depending on the weapon, a different number of shards will be consumed with each normal attack. However, the consumption is not different when using skills with different weapons. Shards can be obtained from monsters and the gold sand shop. They're really easy to get, guys, from mobs, and you can buy them with Kina, so yeah. You can now sell the Vanian skill books to NPCs for more Kina, because Koreans in 6.0 were able to sell them for very few Kina, yeah? New magical crafting designs have been added, which is definitely an improvement to 6.0 as a whole. The number of materials needed for magical crafting has been lowered. This is also a pretty nice change, because in 6.0 initially they were ridiculously much needed. The drops of Kibirium has been expanded. I have no idea what Kibirium is, but if I think about it I might find out. The rewards you can purchase with these kinds of tokens have been changed. I'm gonna make a video actually, guys, on all sorts of tokens, the new tokens that are in the game, and I'm gonna show you guys what things you can buy from the new merchants, 6.0 merchants. Very good stuff, very nice. Stigma bundle reward has been added to this treasure chest in the Mirage Sanctuary. Abnormal appearance of some items has been fixed. The probability to enchant PvP items has been slightly increased, which obviously this is a really good change. It's an update, a fix, a refresh for what 6.0 brings. Instance dungeon, this is another category. New Kublin Kubik's laboratory instance dungeon has been added. The dungeon is one man, as I told you, level 80, 7 entries a week, and it resets Wednesday obviously at 9 with the maintenance. When you occupy a garrison in Lacrum, there is a certain chance the entry NPC will appear near the base. The entry NPC will stay for 12 minutes and up to 24 people can use it, so it's definitely going to be a little bit of a battle on more populated servers to actually enter this dungeon and do it, because you want to do it 7 times a week, right? The issue with players being able to resurrect during the final stage of Promethean Workshop has been fixed. Now guys, Promethean Workshop is the new dungeon 6-man endgame, and apparently there was an issue when players were able to resurrect during the final stage of this dungeon. Now, if I understand correctly, then the way it's intended to be is that if you die during this dungeon in the final stage, you're not able to resurrect, right? So this has been fixed, and now if you die, you're just dead, and you have to stay dead until your team finishes or just completely wipes as well. This is a pretty nice change if it was intended to be like this, so that they can make the dungeon harder and more challenging, not to die, right? Then this is a very, very good change, and it was a very, very bad bug before 6.2. So that's why I'm saying 6.2 fixes a lot of cool things. Cool Rabj will no longer disappear after destroying the ice prison during the final battle with Priga in Promethean Workshop. The issue with Priga not using Cold Anger buff in Promethean Workshop has been fixed. So see, a lot of fixes to the new dungeon. Fixes that fix bugs, obviously, and if we would have gotten those bugs just with 6.0, it would have been pretty shitty, right? Priga will no longer appear twice under certain conditions in the Promethean Workshop. There you go, you didn't want that to happen, right? It will no longer be possible to move to the next area of Promethean Workshop without killing necessary objects. Again, exploits and stuff like that fixed. Rewards for Dredge and Runatorium Nevinwing Canyon have been increased. Pretty good, yeah, the more the better. The number of entries to the battlefields would sometimes reset. This issue has been fixed. Good to exploit this in 6.0, but we get 6.2. Fixed an issue where under certain conditions you would be moved from Makarna to a different region, yeah. Makarna, the old version, the version that's mentioned here, not the bitter one, is a solo thing, so it's just a little bit of an inconvenience, right? When you're just about to finish your campaign, you get moved away. Rewards for the Arena of Cooperation, Arena of Discipline have been increased. Again, the more the better. Another category, minions. Minion skills, I'm gonna make a video about this also. I got plenty of minions on the Korean servers. Minion skills have been changed to support the character. The first minion skill can be used once the skill points are charged to 100%. Second skill can be activated after summoning the minion, yeah? The skill points can be seen at the bottom of menu view minion list. Minion skill points UI. Yeah, see, so this is how it goes, yeah? You can use some of the skills of minions as long as the minion bar is fully charged. Skills are as follows. Depending on the minion, depending obviously on the grade, it has different skills. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but let me just quickly browse through, see what we get. Increases PvP damage for 15 seconds. Silences the target with the probability with each attack. So, you know, guys, we don't have Godstones anymore, but now we have shitty minions, right? Which are not as obscene as Godstones were in the past 5 years. But yeah, minions are kinda as annoying as Godstones were in the beginning of AION, where Godstones were a rarity, something that very few people had, so it was okay when you met those people to get silenced sometimes, right? But nowadays it's a permanent silence when you meet like 2 or 3 whatever random people, yeah? So minions are still annoying, and they replace Godstones pretty well. Not as bad, but still pretty bad. minions should be removed from AION as it stands, because they're just cancerous, same as Godstones were. There's no need for minions, Godstones and extra RNG shit in a PvP game. Anyway, teleports forward, increases all altered state resists, debuffs the target, increases strength by 30 seconds, magical attack, increases HP. I see. Increases PvP defense. Yeah. Heals immediately, restores HP 2-3 second intervals, reduces target's mana, deals damage with certain probability. Yeah, I guess it depends. Depends how fast does this minion attack, right? It silences the target, depends what's the probability for each attack, etc. But there are some changes to minions as well, guys, that you can read yourselves here. Number 2, new ways of obtaining minion contracts and minionite have been added. Some instance dungeons where you guys can obtain minions. It's quite a big thing in Korea to keep upgrading your minion, etc. Some field bosses, some world bosses that you can obtain minion contracts and minionites for. Quest rewards, pretty many campaigns that you can get this from. You can obtain minionite and minion contracts from some monsters in the luck room. You can exchange Tower of Challenge reward coins for minion contracts. Cool. The way you obtain skill points has been changed. Some of the experience you gain through questing, hunting, etc. is now used to increase skill points. Yeah, every opponent will increase the skill point by a set number. You can no longer use Kina to increase skill points. A new way to gain growth points has been added. Some of the experience you gain through questing, hunting, etc. is now used to increase growth points. The ability to use other minions obtained growth points will remain. What? Rules and UI for the minion fusion have been changed. Yeah, as I said, I'm gonna show you guys this. Different ways of combining them now, and it requires different things to be able to be combined in the first place. Yeah, and the UI was changed. In terms of sieging, 6.2 brings the siege compensation for the Luck Room and Divine Fortress have been increased. The rewards have been changed, and you will now receive more Abyss points. If you fail to capture the fortress, you will now receive this box, Honor and Abyss points. Does this box have any details, what you get inside it? Kinda does. There you go, guys. PvP enchantment stones and all sorts of other cool things. Crafting materials, yeah, very nice. Like a compensation bonus for being bad. Occupying the Luck Room Fortress by one race for a consecutive number of sieges will now trigger a special buff. Cool. Quests. We don't really talk about quests here on this channel, guys, but some of the changes to quests are pretty important sometimes. All sorts of daily quests you have here, guys. Tutorials have been added, very easy stuff. Gives you some nice Kina for new players though. Immediate reward has been changed to report immediately. This is actually translated into bounty. Yeah, you can just deliver a quest instantly, the bounty quest. NPCs, okay, nothing special here. Okay, cool. Skills. This is, I think, the before last category. Ancient Divanian skills have been added. Ancient Divanian skills, not only Divanian skills. All sorts of skills, guys, for all sorts of classes, for all the classes actually. You guys can read them. Some of them are better, some of them are worse. However, they're pretty nice, and they're kind of a good addition. It gives you some variation in your builds, which is really nice, yeah, because AION doesn't have extremely much variation, but this brings more of it. Tooltips and effects of some class skills have been changed. Magical and physical values of Bard. This is all sorts of skill changes, which I'm not actually going to go into. You guys can read them. You should read them depending on what class you play. Some stumble effects added to some skills, so you better keep this in mind, because sometimes when you're fighting like a gladiator or a Sin or a Templar and you're wondering why you keep getting knocked down when he uses that skill that wasn't like that before, then you might have the answers here. UI no longer is use items have been removed. Okay. Environment, the terrain in the Lacrima has been changed. And that's about it, guys. Yeah, this is all that it was. I think these are very good changes. I am pretty happy with them. I'm pretty happy with all the bug fixes, especially in the 6-man endgame dungeon, the new one. Really good stuff, really good increase in rewards for PvP, for sieges, etc. Very good stuff in that. Slight increase in the chance of enchanting PvP items. Again, very good to have it straight from the get-go. And also the addition of the cubicle system. This is something very nice, very interesting, and I'm gonna talk about it later. I really like this patch. I really like the fact that we're getting straight 6.2, and these are all my thoughts about 6.2. Very happy with it. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about it. What is your favorite change in 6.2? What is the most interesting thing for you? Tell me in the comments below, guys, and until my next video, lots of love and see you soon.